Shalom Alamadin Dong. It's your world leader, Boris Kropotkin. First, I want to dispel any confusion caused by the recent video where Pickles explains how he looks so young and what his 69th birthday plans are. That video is AI generated. Drew is still in my dungeon as we speak. Now, I wanted to give a major update about the Bris Bunch. I also want to explain what really happened to Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell. A lot of people think he died or is brain dead, and the GOP is keeping his body like Terry Schiavo for the midterms. However, the truth is that something even more tragic happened to him. Let me explain. The Bris Bunch's first order of business was to stop Barney, as he was rampaging through Jerusalem. They sent their leader, Speaknoia, as stopping giant lizards is his specialty. When he got there, Barney was in the middle of devouring a bagel shop that he believed Benjamin Netanyahu was at. However, all he did was devour a ton of bread, smear, and several dozen Israelis. Speaknoia emerged from a penis-shaped pipe, said let's rape, then stared down Barney with a look of pure lust. The idea of brutally ass-raping the husband of the man who raped him 16 years ago made his big mushroom grow several sizes. Barney spat out the bagel shop and swung his tail at Speaknoia, who simply jumped over it. Speaknoia then wall-jumped using an alleyway and got on top of a nearby roof. Barney, who was about as tall as the building, attempted to take down Speaknoia using his fire breath, which was the result of some of the jalapeno bagels he devoured. However, Speaknoia dodged and then jumped on his head. Barney spun around in a daze, and then Speaknoia quickly ran to a souvenir store and grabbed a 3D printed Star of David. A cheaply made Star of David is to a Jewish Super Mario, as a Power Star is to regular Mario. As such, his body started glowing and then Heaven Agala played very fast. Before Barney could recover, Speaknoia ran into him with his star powers, causing Barney to topple over. The star powers then ran out, and Speaknoia knew he had to finish Barney off. He pulled out one of his penis-shaped mushrooms and grew to the size of Jiggy Barney. Speaknoia then grabbed Barney by his tail and started to spin him around several times, until they were moving extremely fast. Then, Speaknoia threw Barney, but not before shouting "So long, gay Barney." Speaknoia threw Barney at an incredible velocity, sending him westward across Europe, then the Atlantic, then landing somewhere in the US. Our radars detected Barney landed somewhere in northeastern Washington, D.C. We told Speaknoia to finish the job. Speaknoia whipped out his penis-shaped whistle and played a song that sounds like stereotypical Bo Chicka Wow Wow 70s porn music, but 8-bit. He then warped to Washington, D.C. Barney had landed in a neighborhood, miraculously not crushing any buildings. When Speaknoia, still gigantic, warped to the neighborhood, he saw that Barney was unconscious. Despite his tough exoskeleton, the impact had knocked him out. From his walkie-talkie, the Israeli Defense Force were instructing Speaknoia to finish the job. So, Speaknoia whipped out his circumcised kosher Italian turkey sausage, which, with the power of the penis room, was 300 quadrillion miles long. He was going to have fun raping this oversized lizard, and he would send the sex tape to Drew when all was said and done. He looked at Barney's giant tight purple ass, and his head immediately touched Barney's sphincter. But just then, a man walked outside one of the homes and said, "What in the Samuel is going on here? Keep it down. I'm trying to watch my Wheel of Fortune in Jeopardy, while eating some applesauce and leafy greens." Super Hornio looked down to see it was Senator Mitch McConnell in an old man's robe that was a bright blue. Now, Super Hornio doesn't have many weaknesses, except one. Nintendo has demanded that Ron Jeremy must never break kayfabe when he is Super Hornio. This had led Ron to believe that he really is a hypersexualized version of the beloved video game character, Super Mario, and that everyone around him is an enemy. He looked at Mitch McConnell, who looked like an old Koopa, and saw his robes. He shouted, "Mamma Mia, it's a comic. I'ma stop you before you can sprinkle magic butter in Barney and make him more powerful." Instead of responding, Mitch McConnell's 900-year-old lizard brain had another freeze. At the same time, the Israeli Defense Force from his walkie-talkie kept screaming, "No, that is not Kamek. That is Senator Mitch McConnell," but it fell on deaf ears. And honestly, I understand. The blue robe, the glasses, the turtle face. Who wouldn't mix up the two? Super Hornio grabbed the frozen Mitch, and then started running across DC, until he saw the Washington Monument. He then started climbing it. Eyewitnesses believed this was a crazy promotion for a new King Kong movie, since Ron Jeremy is so damn hairy, but they were wondering why they replaced a blonde woman with a turtle man. Once Super Hornio reached the top of the monument, he hung on top with one hand, and in the other, started using Mitch McConnell like a fleshlight, and it went something like the Mitch's wrinkled asshole feels as tight as a lolly on a hole compared to Super Hornio's mastodonic cock. The one-up sounds keep playing with every thrust. Something similar happened to former President Joe Biden near the end of his presidency, and that's why he has colon cancer and hasn't been publicly seen using the Washington Monument itself as a dildo. So many fireworks are shooting off for America's 250th birthday. While this happens, who the fuck even kept this guy in office for over 40 years when no one in either side likes him? Mitch McConnell has to be secretly gay, because his ass is taking all 300 quadrillion miles. The Mitch's Chinese spy wife is getting the fuck out of here. The Super Hornio is sticking his finger up Mitch's ass and using him as a finger puppet, since he's so used to being a puppet already. Mitch's daughter just deleted her ex account out of embarrassment. Get ready for Super Hornio to turn your asshole into your hot lava level bag. That was swell. Super Hornio slid down the Washington Monument, the level complete music playing. As he did so, and ran back to Mitch's home, tossing his body through one of the windows in his home. He then looked for Barney, but to his surprise, he was nowhere to be found. We would punish Speaknoia for this failure, but I understand the mix-up, and at least Barney is wounded and out of Jerusalem. We are searching for him as we speak. Meanwhile, Mitch McConnell, because these politicians are harder to kill than herpes, somehow survived this, but is currently in a brain-dead coma. He has a feeding tube going through his mouth, and a tube coming out of his ass to pump out the trillions of gallons of semen Speaknoia ejaculated inside of him. We will keep you updated with any other developments as they come along. And yes, before anyone asks, Speaknoia's massive ejaculation is why the reflecting pool is so fucking dirty.